So I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you because I don't think any of you realize it, but I absolutely love commercial investment property. I think I'm probably, other than you all, I'm probably the only one who looks at the LoopNet over the weekend just for fun. I probably would like to start by just giving you a quick overview of immigration law and how it works, because a lot of people don't know. We hear so much in the news about illegal immigration, but people don't realize how much Sarasota benefits from legal immigration. What I tell people is immigration is really divided into two main categories. One is permanent residence visas, and the other one is temporary residence visas. And there are opportunities in both categories for investors and people that you can help. So there are 30 different temporary residence visas. Some of them are for students, some of them are just for visitors, but there are some specifically for investors. And the main one, the one we use the most often, is called the E-2 visa. There has to be a treaty between America and the person's home country. The person has to own a controlling interest in an active business. They have to make a substantial investment in the business, and the business has to help our economy. And there are a lot of ways that commercial investment property can satisfy those requirements. So office condos, for example. Those are really big for E2s because you can get them pretty inexpensively in this area. And so just buying an office condo alone won't qualify because that's not an active business. But a person who wants to open up a consulting business can have an office condo, and they can say that they're going to hire consultants or computer people. Retail space, obviously. A lot of times you can buy small, just retail units, and a person can open up a shop, and that would qualify for an E2 visa. Restaurant space is probably the biggest category that we deal with. Warehouse space can work for E2 visas. Manufacturing businesses, distributing to America. In rural areas, whatever you can take off of that property for commercial purposes, that can work for an E2 visa. Assisted living facilities, land. That's a question I get a lot. What if I buy a couple of acres of land? Will that help me? Land can work if it's going to be actively developed. And finally, multifamily, or I'll say multifamily and also just residential houses. The question is, can those be used for E2 visas? And the answer is sometimes, but it's not easy. But I tell people you can have a combination business. So you can have one company with subsidiaries, and one of the subsidiaries can own and manage an apartment building, and the other one can provide web consulting services. Also, with these residential type properties, seasonal rentals can work. Condo conversions, like converting apartments to condos, can work. Trailer parks can work. That's the immigration options in a nutshell, and the way that commercial property can be used, commercial investment property, to qualify. So then, once people have E2 visas, they say, well, what can I do now? I would like to stay here permanently. What can I do? And one way is a type of permanent residence visa or permanent residence category called the EB-5. Okay, you have to invest $1 million in your own business and create 10 new full-time jobs. It doesn't have to be $1 million. It can be $500,000 if you're investing in a high unemployment area or an agricultural area. If the business is failing, you don't have to create 10 new jobs. You just have to preserve the 10 jobs that are there. Finally, what they said is, okay, we're going to allow private groups to create these investment programs, and they're called regional centers. They can pool investments, do one big project, and the regional center is then responsible for creating the jobs. And they get credit for creating both direct jobs and indirect jobs. You just have to show through economic studies that you're creating jobs in the community through this investment project. So regional centers have been a hot topic among developers in the past few years.